Hello from Philadelphia. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. He's Ramon Foster in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and this is the Ramon Foster Show. Hi, Moan.
Hey, DK. Hey, man. We back. We back.
Yeah. Las Vegas. Now I'm in Philadelphia covering baseball. This weekend, it's Houston for more football. And in between, Moan and I are going to talk about what appears to be an improving football team. Can we agree on that much, that they're improving? That was what Mike Tomlin said yesterday in all three facets.
And to be fair, we threw that out there. We're going to have to see. We'll judge this team after 4 to 6 weeks, right? 4 to 6 weeks is kind of what we said.
You said that, yeah.
I said
I didn't
that.
give him
yes. I said 4 to 6 weeks is what we at. And it was frustrating. You know what's also frustrating? Us not being here the Monday and Tuesday, but also not hitting this bell and starting this show, DK.
Oh,
you ready?
Yeah, there's yeah, I am now.
You ready now? All right, let's go.
I am. You know, I asked for work when I came here. I did. When I applied for this job, I told them I want to do work.
You did? Well, work is here now, DK. Work is here, not leaving.
This is true. Which is the most improved facet so far through 3 games? Not the best, but the most improved facet over these 3 games, Moan.
Improved facet over 3 games? Golly, DK. And most improved facet over 3 games. And one game I would say is Kenny. From week 1 to week 3, him seeing it. Actually, I'll say this. Kenny looked like he was ticked off. Did you get a little bit of that throughout the game?
I got a little bit of that before the game.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that was a point that I felt even in advance of the game, that if you go back over Kenny's history, even at Pitt, when he feels like he maybe has his back against the wall in some capacity,
yeah,
he'll do better. And I don't know if that sharpens him, it focuses him, because he also made that pass. It should have been a pick 6. All right?
That's very true, too.
But otherwise, look at the quality of the balls that he was putting up.
Yeah.
Forget the score of the game or anything else here. Just isolate on the accuracy, because that's what you were talking about a lot last week.
It was. That was the thing that I think bothered me the most, was the misses. Like, the routine plays wasn't routine to him. Mm-hmm. And then it finally became that on Sunday Night Football. And that's what I was looking for. Like, that jump we need from week 1 to week 2 is what was necessary, man. And before we even go even further than that, too, another guy that I think made the biggest improvement and had to, and we demanded that too, and that's Keanu Benton. But we'll get to him too, because I've already started a question about that when we get to the Hey Moan segment. All in all, though, DK, when it's bad, we got to call it bad. At least I don't mind calling it bad. And when it's good, it's also good too. That end of the stretch portion of the game where you needed them to put their foot on the necks and close out the game, I wish I could have seen that, though, a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I wish we hadn't seen the field goal and the opportunity for them to score more points. I do want to see that.
I thought you were referring just to the very, very, very last possession. But yeah.
Oh, no. Just all in all, I did want to see a little bit more of that. Close out the game the way you needed to be closed out. But it was a good showing over in Las Vegas. I felt the flow of the game was good. They took the shots they needed to take. We watched guys get balls thrown in their direction and make them too. Of course, what was it? Connor Hayward ran forward on the 3rd and short. That's something that you got to say, come on. We don't need that.
Even if he'd made it, that's a bad play. That's not one of those that you say after the fact, well, it worked.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Exactly, DK. But what do we ask for out of Matt Canada? Give us something downfield. Give us a run opportunity that we feel like was sustainable. And this, too, as I was tweeting it out, live tweeting throughout the game, they were at least, DK, moving the ball around. Running back to running back, the averages aren't the greatest. I think Najee's had 3.6 yards a carry or something like that. But they moved the ball situationally, except for that Connor Hayward 3rd down situation, that Connor Hayward 3rd down opportunity. You missed that one, but that was just foolish of, I think, anybody anyway to call that play out, DK.
I would say that within the Kenny thing, as long as I think we agree that this is the most improved player or facet or whatever over the course of the 3 games, within the Kenny thing, there was the accuracy, there was timing on the ball to Calvin Austin. Okay, don't just presume because Calvin got way behind those guys that was an automatic touchdown. That's a long pass. It's got to land in that dude's arms on the run, and he runs at a different rate than most people do. So it's not even normal quarterback to receiver timing.
Yeah.
Okay. So he also had that. The other part that I liked, Moan, and this is, I think, mostly to Kenny's credit, but partially to Matt Canada's, that is that you saw the post Deontay Johnson effect on the wide receivers.
Yeah, you did.
Who did we challenge to step up in Deontay's absence? Everybody.
Everybody did. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's who we challenged, because it wasn't going to be one person who was just going to go run Deontay's routes.
No, it had to be everybody. And you saw that.
Everybody. Mm-hmm.
But the
and
biggest
George going sideways.
Yep.
You know, you saw Allen Robinson come up with a couple of good, timely catches over on the sidelines here to pick up first downs. You know, you saw Cal make the big play. You saw Pat Freiermuth with the big touchdown on a really well-designed play, I might add.
Yes, 100%. You got to give it to him when it's bad, DK. We gonna call it bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. You got to acknowledge that. Maybe, DK, it was because the threat of it actually being fired Matt Canada in Las Vegas is why he felt that pressure. So maybe Kenny and maybe Matt need that, DK.
Some do, though, don't they? You're the 11-year NFL veteran here. You tell me. Some guys need that.
I think sometimes with a lot of athletes, this is me speaking as an athlete, not as an analyst to what happened in the game. You find guys that operate a certain way. Michael Jordan had to operate in the way in which he felt like the world was against him, or, hey, everything is a bet, right? I got to win it because it's a bet.
Some kind of challenge.
Some kind of challenge.
Me against that guy, or that guy's talking trash, or you don't think I can do this.
Yes, and I look at that sometimes and I kind of say, we saw Kenny smiling and having a good time this entire offseason and preseason, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what has to happen at all times is the job. The job always has to happen. And maybe Kenny getting smacked around the way he did in this offense sputtering is what ignited him. And I think the same thing probably goes for the situation in what Matt Canada was in too. Now, I'll say this about him. All in all, he's been up against the wall in every facet, regardless, right, DK?
To say the least.
But what better way to show that and get people off you than to do it on Sunday Night Football? And I'm still shocked. We had back-to-back weeks of Sunday Night Football. And performed and won, DK.
Won. And guess what? Your only line as it related to the God, I don't even remember what I was going to say there, Mo.
We won on prime time.
Oh, yeah. It was just that this team went out and performed and got. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Now I remember. Sorry.
Yeah. Come on now, bring it in.
That was all that Mike Tomlin in his press conference. I asked him. I opened up the press conference and said, what did you think of your offense? And he looked at me and he said, "We won." And I asked another question, and he came back with, "We won. We came here. We didn't come here to do performance." I think I could be paraphrasing here, but we didn't come here to build up style points. We came here with one objective, and that was to win, and we did that. Now we're going home. Well, they didn't know they were going to Kansas City, but they were going home after Kansas City.
Right. Well, they did. But I want to go somewhere before we go into Hey Moan 2 DKS right here, man. Yes, you're right, Teresa. That dime to Calvin Austin III was impressive. If that's any indication of I'll say this before I go to the next one. That one particular play should be something that softens up defenses to what this team is capable of doing if they get the protection, DK. If Kenny can set his feet and throw the ball. Because I want to go from Teresa's question right there, Teresa's statement about Calvin Austin and the throw to this right here. That's beyond, whatever that is right there. That's beyond says this. 23 points and 333 yards against a vaunted Raiders defense is an improvement. Please improve more. You're right. Again, there's only 3 teams I think that's really jumped out this year. In the entire NFL, you say, whoa, I wish I had one of them. That's Miami, that's Philly, and that's San Francisco. Everybody else is figuring this thing out. Even the Cowboys got smacked last weekend to a team they shouldn't have lost to. What the Steelers did in Las Vegas on the road, which has been a history of having bad road games on the West Coast, is they beat a team they needed to beat. They beat a team that they could have easily let stay in because the way Devontae Adams was catching the ball, you almost thought, whoo, we're not even trying. But it's okay to beat the teams you're supposed to. And they did do that on the road. So is this a Matt Canada praise hour? Absolutely not. Is this a team, you saying to your team, we went on the road and beat some people we were supposed to, and we did it in a real stylistic manner? Yes, you did.
Really, really good stuff piling up here in the queue, Moan. We're gonna get to this Hey Moan segment.
Yeah.
But you know what? Some of us aren't mature enough to be able to avoid a victory lap. Right?
Well, that's very true, DK.
This is very
winning
true.
Is hard. Winning is hard.
Winning and being right is hard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find this beauty that somebody put in here about those chants that never happened.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, because I took a really significant amount of heat for that on this show last week. Ben says, DK, you were right about the No Fire Canada chants in Las Vegas. One more 3 and out, though, he says, in the beginning might have done it. No, it's a different group. Look, Steelers fans are Steelers fans everywhere. All right? And that place, the Allegiant Stadium, was at least 50% Steelers fans. But I talked with a lot of these people. They're from not anywhere near Pittsburgh, and you're not going to be in on the same conversations, the same dialogues, nor, because those chants started in Pittsburgh by hockey fans based on something that happened with the hockey team, it just wasn't going to. Anyway, I had to throw that in.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. And to win a game the way they did on the West Coast and not get home till, what time did they get to Pittsburgh? 2:00 in the afternoon?
10 o'clock the next morning.
10 o'clock the next morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit after 10 was exactly how that played out.
That was also a scary situation. Losing oil pressure.
I think it was a problem with the gauge. I don't think they actually lost oil pressure.
Either way,
anything you're in an airplane is going to. It makes you think about bad things.
There's one viral video I saw. A dude said we're in a tin can, and that really resonated to me.
Yeah, right. A flying bucket of bolts.
Yeah, it is, man. Woo!
When we come back, the only segment that matters,
and that's Hey Moan. Happily Hey Moan too.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
And we are back for the only segment that matters, and that is brought to you always by our friends at the Get-Go Cafe and Market, where quality is at the core of every menu item. 3 expert chefs fine-tune every detail so that every sub, burger, salad, wrap, drink, and app is crafted for what they uniquely refer to as craveability. Order your favorite entry at the Get-Go Cafe and Market today. Better believe it. We ready for this, Moan?
Man, let's rock out, DK. I'm seeing a lot of good stuff coming in right now.
All right, here we go. Vast Jazz says, hey, Moan, how about Kenny throwing coming out of the pocket? Something Kenny acknowledged after the game was by design, principally to avoid Max Crosby and to keep him guessing.
Okay, so you said all that, DK, but there has to also be some credit given to the offensive coordinator on knowing how to avoid their premier rusher, too. How do you protect? It becomes team protection. Kenny making those passes right there was huge for him because he set his feet and he was poised about doing it. But also utilizing Kenny's athletic ability too. Isn't that something that was highlighted at Pitt, DK, was this guy can actually move, and why not just, put him in the pocket or move him outside of the pocket, let him make plays with his arms
including
and legs.
To the left, throwing across his body. Mm-hmm. It's a striking trait that he has.
It was good to see, but I'll tell him this too. If he's bragging about it, show me again. I do need to see it again too, DK. That's fair to ask of him.
Chris says the next improvement I need to see is the offense closing out a game with 4 minutes left, so the defense doesn't. Moan brought that up, and Moan, you're right. That you guys took pride in that. You wanted to be the last ones out there.
I want my quarterback kneeling it, because there's also a portion of this that you get paid for player performance in it. It's accumulation of how many plays you play throughout the season. So we can get 3 straight kneels
get
with
out of
no
here.
there's always a selfish contingency in this, DK.
Snap
Yes.
pound?
Player performance. So the way player performance works is this.
Never heard this.
So let's say if an undrafted guy like myself play a lot, well, you have to be compensated for outperforming your contract. A guy like Ben would only get maybe $100 at the end of the year. But for guys, it helps equates or equalize the dispersion of money off of performance and not off a contract. So if you got an ability to kneel the ball 3 times in a row, DK, that's 3 free plays that you get some compensation. It might even be $2 a play, but there's 2 extra, okay? But there's a sense of pride and will you have to close out a game for 4 minutes. There's little small things right there.
William Schultz says, happy to have the show back. Can't wait to hear what Ramon thinks about the offensive line. I still don't think they're there yet.
No, they're not. On that Kenny play, and I tweeted it out too, and you know who hit me up? Chooks did. Yes, he did, DK. You need to ask him about this. On that play, I tweeted out, oh, Chooks got away with one. He did the old roundabout where he pulled, might have been Max Crosby hips.
It was.
I thought he was going to get flagged. But it wasn't just him. There was leakage in other places too. Making Kenny mobile and moving the pocket is a way to hide pass pro also. That's a good thing. If that's going to be a part of this offense, continue to do it and build on it. Moving pocket.
I want to leave this up for a minute because the offensive line is always of interest to us here on this show. And me in particular just has been for years.
Yeah.
And when I see that play where Crosby came in on Chooks, and Chooks looks like he's got him. Had him. And one thing that you've been saying about Chooks as a teammate and as a friend is finish.
Yep.
And Crosby just went, all right, you had me, but now you don't. And he goes around him and whatever. And they battled. Okay, Chooks literally battled with Crosby. There was the personal foul call that went against Crosby did something like he pulled Chooks' leg.
He pulled Chooks up off the pile. Yeah, he did. You can't pull players off the pile because that incites violence is what it does.
So to his credit, when that happened, Chooks got up and Crosby looked at him, and you could tell they had a friendly exchange after that. Crosby was like, hey, whoa, man. Nothing bad intended. Still got the flag.
Yeah, he did.
But in talking to these offensive linemen after the game, and I'm trying to remember who all I got. First, it was Isaac Seumalo for a while, and then Mason Cole. Okay. Yeah. And both of those guys, without me bringing it up, said, there's more. There's more. We feel like this film is going to do well for us. And remember, this is raw in the moment. Nobody studied anything. He's coming off the field. But we feel like this film is going to do well for us. Okay. It's going to show well, but we know there's going to be more needed.
Yeah, it is. But what you did see was this ability in situations, move the ball past the line of scrimmage. They looked like they were winning some one-on-ones when it came down to it. They stretched the field offensively and defensively. The bend but don't break concept was there. They were able to get after the quarterback in times they necessarily needed. TJ Watt. How many times can you say that name?
Not enough. Not enough.
I mean, leading the NFL in sacks again. 2 on the evening, impact play all across the board. DK was good ball. And Levi Wallace, I know a lot of people were out. He had a really nice breakup over the middle, and he closed out the game with an interception too.
Yeah, he had a strange game because on one hand, Devontae Adams had 10 catches, and some of the passes, like Jimmy Garoppolo, what a weird case he is, huh?
Yeah,
you see stuff from him where you go, wow, seriously, dude? Like, that's fantastic. Yeah. And then you'll see just, what are you doing? And some of the connections that he had with Devontae, I remember saying in the press box to the people around me, I go, that's not a stoppable play.
Yeah, no.
That's just a perfect pass and a perfect catch.
Right, that was. And then, of course, you give him enough time in which not every rush is going to get to the quarterback. Hey, we're able to find the soft zones in the defense, and that's what Devontae did. He found the soft zones and got he accumulated 172 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I'll say this, though. I think this game plan was this. You can get yours, but nobody else does. And I think it paid off for him.
Sean Evans says, hey, Moan, you think we'll see Joey Porter Jr. at corner starting this week and get us a bit more speed? You just got 3 interceptions out of your corners. They're not going to sit. You're not going to sit Levi Wallace. You're not going to sit Patrick Peterson. Not to jump the question here, Moan, but
and not trying to play you either, Sean. That is a great question to ask because Joey Porter Jr. is a talent. He's earned it and also gets away with a couple of things here and there too. You see him splatter plays or 2. And that's all you want from Joey Porter Jr. You don't need him to go be your hero. I'm telling y'all, you can break a guy quick at corner and at offensive line, specifically the left tackle if you put him out there too quick. If you as a team, even though they're not ready, is Joey Porter ready to become the starter at corner, DK? I'll answer that for you. No, not yet. Keep putting him in those spots and watch him grow as a pro.
And learn. Too. I mean, these guys, 3 picks is 3 picks. I don't care what the circumstances is.
You wanted him on Devontae Adams?
Don't think the coaches don't talk about that first and foremost. Okay. S400 says, hey, Moan, I know Kendrick Green wasn't Pouncey, but I'm not sure if Mason Cole is either. I think we might need to draft or bring in a top 10 center for both the quarterbacks and the running backs.
Mason is he's having a little bit of a struggle, it seems like, with stopping the charge right now.
That's fair.
Yeah, he is. Last year, I didn't see a whole lot of this. This year, I am. maybe the tape on him suggests run through him as opposed to stop hitting his shoulders, but it's got to be fixed. He's in the backfield, and maybe I almost feel like he's residual from him going from left to right with even James Daniels and also Isaac at times, man. You watch his tape, it caves a little bit more than it has in years past. Now, I don't know if that was last year since I started watching them exclusively.
Right.
So I don't know if that's an ankle thing. You just never know what guys are going through, or does he need to just catch his groove too? I have seen that. And again, nobody's Marquise. Let's leave that just like Marquise wasn't.
That's all I was going to add here. Let's not. But part of the problem, and you know this because you lived it, is that in Pittsburgh, we take the center position as seriously as any franchise in the National Football League.
Yep.
Okay, because Mike Webster, because Dermontti Dawson, even the guys who would come in between them, the Jeff Hardings types and so forth, they would be like, you had to be up to this Hall of Fame standard to play center. And then Marquise comes along as a first-round pick, just walks out onto the field in Latrobe and shows everybody he's heading to Canton. And you're like, okay. I mean,
when was the last time you saw that? Dermontti?
You mean at center? Yeah.
Like that?
Oh, yeah.
Like that? Like Jeff Harding's like, no, he was good
but
too.
A good football player.
Yes. And Hartwig played his role too. But that's unfair. But I get it, though. Mason does got to get better at that center position. I will not make an excuse for that, DK.
Guys, if you want to become a member here and you're seeing that we're getting some new members today, go to dkps.net/join. That's up there in your address field, dkps.net/join to become a member. If you want to get the Ramon merch, go to dkps.net/Ramon shop. We want to welcome Michael Walker as a new member to the program. And only 200-ish likes has the boss a little disappointed over there.
We about to hit 700 people in here viewing right now, DK. Is that even that's not even a quarter. It's barely a quarter, man. What are we talking about here?
It's not good. Tyler Johnson. Oh, no.
I like this one.
Me first.
I like this one. Go ahead. Go.
Hey, Moan, why does Pat Freiermuth never get any heat? He's got to catch the ball over the middle in the fourth quarter. I expect that from him. To hit him in the hands. Tyler, when you suit up for a National Football League game, you are committed to everything that comes with participating in that game. Am I right, Moan? No one lowers the bar for you. However, me and you, Tyler, aren't in that room. Moan was. We aren't. Okay? And we can find it fair to acknowledge that Freiermuth is playing with something significant. I tried to speak with him after the game. Dude can barely breathe.
Wow.
It's been 3 weeks since he took that hit to the chest against the 49ers. Moan, remember we were saying, like, what could that be and whatever? It's there.
Yeah.
Like this, okay? And he's out there playing football for you. I'll give him a drop to go with his touchdown, all right?
And that's a part of it, too. You say, why doesn't he get any heat? Tyler, it's because of you guys. Y'all love Pat.
Love him.
You do. You wanted him in that situation right there, but I've also seen, I think I saw George Kittle drop a pass against us in Pittsburgh, and I've also seen Travis Kelce drop balls too. It's just, I know in those moments you want him, but y'all love Pat. The fan base does.
I seldom credit the out-of-town fans for a whole heck of a lot when it comes to the cheering and the chants and stuff, but they put up a pretty good mooth on that first catch.
Yeah, they did. Okay? I heard it on the TV. Yes.
That was impressive. Or was it a Heath?
No.
Oh my God, I think, was it a Muth?
Yeah.
It was a Heath.
I thought I heard Muth. Huh.
Somebody's going to have to jump in. I think it might have been a Heath.
Yes.
Brian Guizar says the defensive line is salivating this week because the Texans' O-line is subpar.
Brian, I love it. But Brian, here's the thing: never underestimate a team. Never underestimate a team like that. The times in which we thought we were just going to run down on an opponent, you don't, because they have the ability to play well. You got to think they also went to Jacksonville and beat who was supposed to be projected the AFC South winner, and convincingly too.
Yep.
And DeMeco Ryans is their head coach. I would expect a very defensive game this weekend. I think the Steelers win this one, but they went and got a big win on the road and going back home. They have just a little bit of momentum. And their quarterback, even in a losing effort the last few weeks, has been slanging it. Okay?
CJ Stroud is and the Texans are feeling good about where they are, in large part because I think they can finally breathe a little bit, unlike Pat Freiermuth. Because they've been looking for a long time now to try to get out of this Deshaun Watson mess and who's going to be our quarterback, and they feel like they've got their guy. You know what? When you watch what Stroud has done down there, he looks mature beyond his years. He was doing it all through the preseason. Good for him. Good for them. But that's going to be tough.
Yeah, well, and I'll throw this out there too. Unless they're planning on going max protection, I do worry about their tackles a little bit, specifically the right tackle, because Laramie Tunsil plays on the left side, okay?
Yeah, that's
and I think he's been out as of late, so I have to check that storyline on him.
Our favorite barber comes in with a $7.30, of course. Hey, Moan, where can a defender hit a QB cleanly and not get called for personal foul? Should quarterbacks have proximity sensors on them so that they don't get hit, I should say?
Your favorite barber, all of this is in the eye of the
He's talking
beholder.
About the Minka play.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay.
It's all in the eye of the guy throwing the penalty. Minka did pull up. Minka did also slightly tap his helmet with his on that play. I give Minka credit. He popped him and pulled back. It's just that you saw that real quick from Minka. Minka may, if he does get fined, it's going to be very small. He has an argument to say, I pulled up, he dipped on me, and that was on him. That sucks. But in that moment, it's almost like umpires in baseball, right, DK?
Yes.
That equated to that, your favorite barber. Like, you're going to get some strikes, you're going to miss some. And if you get somebody to know how to frame it like a really good catcher in baseball, you can steal a few strikes. But if you're a quarterback that shrinks when you see somebody hit, you're lowering your target, and that just sucks. It was just a bad call.
You know, I asked Minka after the game, his thoughts on that, and he was a lot better when the recorder was off than when the recorder was on. So I'll just leave that there. You can use your imagination. Minka is an honest player, and I think what had Minka moved after the game, okay, and again, I'm leaving this where it was, the conversation, but I think what had him moved was that this is now 2 weeks in a row where he was being attached to something that's really not his thing, okay? Yeah. Minka doesn't even blitz very often. He's never had an NFL sack, remarkably, for someone just of his raw athleticism, okay? He got back there. He thought he did everything right, Blame the rule, people. It's not the call. Blame the rule, because there isn't a judgment element to it. The helmet did make contact with the helmet. Okay, no one, including Minka, disputed that. The helmet did make contact. Then, of course, we find out after the game that Jimmy Garoppolo is in concussion evaluation, and the discussion changes entirely. So we'll see.
We'll see. I've been seeing this floating around, man. Let me go here real quick. It ain't even a hey moan. Tyler Johnson, thoughts on Kendrick Green starting this week? Feast up.
I was hoping you'd say that. Like, please don't come up with something nice and soft here. Please don't.
Feast up. Hey, what was Ezekiel Elliott doing those years? Hey, feast up, baby. Hey, I'm thirsty, DK. I need a little bit. Yeah.
Trevor Barnes says Matt Canada called some good plays, but also some that were very questionable. Did this win get your hopes up at all regarding Canada?
That win sets, I guess, a baseline for what's expected from everybody playing their role. Look at the distribution of the football throughout this game. If you even just look at it, I mean, this is just targets. George Pickens had 6. Calvin had 6. Pat had 4. Allen Robinson had 4. Jaylen Warren had 4. I mean, think about what we're asking right now. You had a distribution of the ball, which is what we were looking and asking for. You had chunk plays being made in this game. You were able to score. Okay, DK? You were able to score, not in just one half, but 2 halves. Defensively, you made big plays. Yes, you let their superstar guy get his rocks off on you. 172 for 2 touchdowns. Ain't many people got a Devontae Adams. Okay? And from there, you close out a win on the road on the West Coast, which has been bad. So it sets a baseline, if for anything, for what's expected for this team moving forward.
A baseline that would include play action. A baseline that would include some of the other creativity that we saw at the line. You know what the next step could be?
What's that?
A whole lot less predictability, fewer tells. The entire stadium, all 62,000 people knew when the Steelers were running and when they were passing because of where Kenny lines up, if he's behind center or he's in shotgun. There's more than that. There's other stuff that came out afterward about a certain way that Najee would line up behind the quarterback. You could just tell he was going to get the ball. All that, you talk about this stuff all the time, Moan, but it's playing out way too much where the Steelers are concerned. Matt Wilcox says, hey, Moan, did Levi Wallace's 2 picks mask some poor coverage on his part throughout the game?
You look at the way this team played defense. They're playing mostly zone. Devontae was coming wide open and soft spots on the defense. It was on that side of the field, but it may have been from the linebacker to the outside corner.
Yes.
Jimmy G found the dead spot in the defense. That's what zone coverage is. You play zone coverage because you know you have a good pass rush up front. And if the pass rush can't get home, what happens, DK? You find a soft zone. That's what that was. You got to think, too, Devontae did his thing, but who else had anything else beside him? Nobody. Okay?
No.
Like, that's just how it was. Well, Jacoby Meyer.
Yeah.
But all in all, if you're telling me those 2 dudes and still couldn't get anything else out of it, DK, but 18 points, I'll live that life, especially with this defense.
I mean, turnovers get weighed way up here. Takeaways get weighed way up here. You cannot just say it was only 3 of the passes. Okay, 3 interceptions, especially at the juncture which they occurred, was just massive.
Yeah.
AJ Dub says, hey, Moan, yes or no? Is mid-season form a real thing to players?
Yes, it is. It's a very real thing. That's just like hardening your body for camp is a real thing too. Like legitimately all that stuff matters. You catch a routine, a rhythm. Okay, AJ, think about your car when you first got it. Was it the car it was now? Do you know how the seat feel? The seat knows how your tush sits in it. You know how to hit the blinker a certain way to get it to go. You know how much gas mileage it is, city versus highway. Yes, you got to break it in a little bit. That's all a part of it.
Before we get to our final 2 questions of the day, a salute to Daniel Pike for coming through when it was most needed. Presley Harvin III, keep it up. And you know what? We're not going to mention one kicker without the other because Boz is now 5 for 5 on the season, and 3 of those 5, Moan, have been from 50-plus yards, including the 57-yarder. Harvin had 6 kicks. He had a 63-yarder. He had a 56-yarder with the game on the line. And when I saw him after the game, he's in the locker room, and I walk up to him, and I didn't even say. I went like this. I just went, And he goes,
he's a ball player, man.
He is such a ball player for a punter. Okay?
He's a ball player.
And he said he had seen, you know what he told me that motivated him?
What he said?
You'll like this. Right before that, the Raiders punter had the gorgeous kick.
Yes, he did.
To the far, you know what I'm talking about? To the
sure
far
did.
corner, where all Cal could do. Calvin Austin just kind of watches it go to the left and was like, I can't not touching that ball. And it goes out at the Pittsburgh 9.
Yeah.
So what does Presley do? He kicks it to the Las Vegas 8.
Winning the field.
Dude fumbles it. Remember? And the Steelers almost got it back. Didn't matter. Ball was at the Las Vegas 8. Game was over, and he knew it. He knew he'd won the game. This is a football player. Boy, am I glad somebody brought up.
Also, this real quick, too. This keeps getting brought up. Hey, Mo, how important is Darnell Washington get involved? This offense outside is just block. It ain't all that important, Ryan. It just ain't. And also, DK told us last week, too, he's dealing with a little bit of a knee. This is the ebb and flow. This is just the ebb and flow. I'm not looking forward to him getting much out of a rookie season other than if he gets 200 yards, that's a win for us.
Their tight ends are banged up right now. Let's call it like it is. Steel Blitz says 4-1 by the bye. I feel it in my Steelers spirit. We appreciate the contribution.
Definitely.
From you, we appreciate the contribution. Oh, wait, he's not done.
He doubled up.
4-1 by the bye.
Doubled up.
It's
we
coming, Steelers Nation. This is his own echo. It'll be a perfect time to touch up and get back to the football. Top 5 in the AFC. I believe they're second in the AFC right now. Is that hilarious?
That's hilarious. How you remember how we was trying to burn the house down?
Oh my God! Here, this one's just for you, Moan. S400 says, "Hey, Moan, Keanu Benton is him. The penetration and the pursuit on that sack. Boy, that had Hargrave written all over it.
Yeah,
when Benton starts playing alongside Cam, watch out. Don't leave Larry out.
Don't leave Larry out." I had his name starred a few times on this one.
That's a line, man.
I'll say this. I was hesitant on Keanu. I didn't want to give that praise. I needed to see it because, I mean, you're going against NFL professional offensive lineman. He's getting penetration. He's making plays. He's effecting plays. And he's holding his ground. And the effort is a nonstop. You're going to see Montravius lose reps because of this. You're going to see Loudermilk lose reps because of this, DK. The young fellow, man, if he continues on with this, they may have found one. And you know what's going to happen in 31 other cities? They're going to say, how in the bleak do the Steelers continue to find guys like this?
Yeah.
That's the conversation I have. How do you find a guy like that in the 3rd or 4th round?
Well, also, in fairness, the Steelers haven't been doing their usual investing of high draft picks on the defensive line for a long time now. And Stephon Tuitt needed to be replaced before this. Now Larry's come in and done the job here, but this is a lot different.
Yeah.
This one's from Michael, also with a contribution. Is it just me or his boss does something to his physique or technique? I don't ever remember thinking of him as the guy who kicks a 55-yard field goal. Always thought he was 50 or less. Mike, the game was indoors. I'm not okay. It's just all of these kickers will tell you the elements make such a difference. The surface makes such a difference. And even though in Las Vegas it's grass, it's manicured and treated like a baby's bottom grass that actually slides out of the stadium.
Yeah.
The same like in Glendale,
Arizona.
It slides like on a tray so that it gets its sun. But it's just everything is so perfect out there that you saw both kickers actually have a pretty nice night.
But this is the thing, though, Michael, about that. Good kickers get better. They just do. Because the more they make as far as field goals and extra points, the more confident they get as far as going further out and being more accurate. That's all you're seeing from Boswell now. And I'm knocking on wood because we're talking a whole lot about this kicking game, and I need it to stay the same, DK. Yeah.
Last one today goes to Daniel Pike, and only because Daniel earned it with the shout-out to Presley Harvin. He's asking me, is there any chance that Glenn Thomas was making the calls? I did not bring the Glenn Thomas statue with me to Philadelphia because that'd be really weird. All right. However, no, I don't believe that. And here's why. Remember everybody last week going, ooh, there's a report that something, Matt Canada and whatever else here. And Moan, you texted me about it too. And what did I write back to you?
I said nobody confirmed it.
Guess what?
What?
It wasn't true. at all.
It wasn't true.
No. Okay. And this is why I'm always advising people to just, when you hear, read something, whatever, don't react as if it's gospel just because somebody took the time to put it on, type it on a screen.
Yeah.
Okay. I never heard of this guy. He wasn't attached to any outlet or whatever. Matt Canada. You could say anything about Matt Canada and get people to believe it if it was negative.
Yeah. And that's the reason I didn't say anything else about it. You hit me with it wasn't confirmed. I think I replied to somebody on my Twitter and was like, it's not confirmed, so I can't really say much about it.
Look, the head coach was the one who rejected it. Now, could the head coach be lying? Sure. I mean, he actually acknowledged, this week in his press conference that he says stuff to the media that he doesn't necessarily mean. He's trying to get through to his players. It's all he cares about, sending messages to his players. But that's not what this was. That's not what this was. He's not in a position to say, hey, I'm.
But this is also the answer to that too, DK. If it's true, well, no, you got to give credit where credit is due. If it was Matt Canada at holding the paper, sending the plays in, and he win the game, you got to give him that credit too. Because if it's not true, then guess what? He'll be let go after the season, and then I think you'll partially have your answer if that's the case. Yeah.
Favorite Barber says, you can't leave us showless again for 2 days. We're getting scolded by everybody here. You got us addicted with no fix. And then he says, DK, enjoy the time with your son. Well, that's the objective, right? When Moan has time, he wants to spend time with his we just say, oh, yeah, go ahead, Moan.
Yeah, DK.
That's why I'm out here. My son's going to school in Philadelphia, and
I think they're on to you. I think they're on to you because y'all just let him go last weekend, and you're in his college city this week, DK.
You see how that goes. You are not in a position to judge. You are going to be so pathetic in this regard. You wait. When RJ's in school, you're going to be hanging outside his cafeteria watching what he eats. That's going to be you. You'll see.
That's all I'm saying. It wasn't me.
I am not an overbearing parent. I am not.
Hey, we just calling what the situation is, DK. That's it.
I am, however, accurately accused here by Bruce here, who says you have wonderful hotel room art. Look at that. I don't even know what that is. It's some Philadelphia thing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It looks like somebody painted in about 4 seconds.
Hey man. Hey, look, they called it, DK. It wasn't me. Don't drag me down to bring you up, man. That's all I'm telling you. They said you couldn't be without them for a week, man. You said
it was true. It was true. I failed the can't be without my son for a week test. Yes, that is correct.
It's all good.
All right, guys. That's all the time we have for today. Don't stay tuned for anything.
Nah, we're good. We're absolutely good. This will be you.
What do you mean?
This will be you hiding the red eyes when you go see your son.
You think I'm spying on him?
No, it'll be you because your eyes are welling up from crying so much. You don't want to show baby boy.
Correctly accused on that count. Very much so. There's no doubt about that.
Enjoy. I saw a couple questions. Do you cheesecake it when you're in Philly? Cheesesteak it?
I will if that's what the Phillies serve. By the way, you know what's funny? The Raiders, when we were out there in Las Vegas.
What's that?
Okay, this is just between us. Like, don't share this with anybody. Okay, but their media lounge.
Yeah,
they had all this like Pittsburgh-based food. They thought they were being nice to us, so they had they called it sliders, Pittsburgh style, and all it was these little burgers, and they rammed some fries on them. Pierogies, Pittsburgh style, and they were
mushy, grainy,
hard, like crisp, like you know what I'm talking about. And there was something else. Oh yeah, a hot dog. It was hot dogs, Pittsburgh style, and all they did was put fries on them.
Pittsburgh
people, we don't do any of these things.
No.
Okay. The permane sandwich is an actual thing.
Yeah.
And the fries will go on it as an accessory, but it's not like we sit around all day and think of things that we can put fries on.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
We're not that sad. But anyway, the gesture was appreciated. I don't think of the Raiders as the friendliest organization. Execution.
No dice. No dice. There it is.
Ask me where the worst press box food is in the league.
Well, I went to Cleveland this weekend. Theirs was elite.
They've gotten better. They didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, they've gotten better.
Worst. Oh, where have I gone? I didn't see Minnesota's. Who got the worst? Cincinnati?
Nashville, Tennessee, baby.
Well,
not even close.
I'm gonna hold back. No, I'm gonna hold back.
You just go. You just do
I'm
that.
an employee now.
Okay, then you can say Washington because Washington is second worst.
Washington second worst.
The Titans have been the kings of this, the undisputed kings of it for years. All right, guys, let's do it again tomorrow.
Yes, let's do it, DK.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.